Hi guys, Mike here. Uh, got some news and some new gear to tell you about. So, first and foremost, I'm actually going to some Crown Land this coming weekend for my first solo overnighter. This will be my first time in several things. It's my first overnighter solo. I've never gone out into the bush on my own before, um, overnight. And this will also be my first time going to some Crown Land. Now that being said, I've done my research, made sure I've educated myself and prepared myself for this trip. I've researched the Crown Land that I'm going to be going to. Specifically, there's a nice sized lake, and the Crown Land is like one big bounding box around it. So whichever shore of this lake I choose to go to, it's all Crown Land. I have that all mapped out. I know what road I'm using to get there. I've picked up some bear spray, so I'll have that with me in case I have a bad encounter with bears. And most importantly, I picked up some extra gear based on some feedback, both from people I've talked to, my own experimentation, flaws I've discovered from the camping trip I just got back from Sable Falls. And yeah, I feel like I'm prepared for this trip, but having never done something like this before, you always get those first time nerves. So it'll be fun though. So that being said, I did pick up some gear. So first and foremost, I got some fishing lures, mostly for trying to get some pike and smallmouth bass. But really, pretty much everything in this lake is in season. If you're from Ontario or familiar with Ontario's fishing zones, this area is located within Zone 18. So there's a lot of things that are in season. Yellow perch, smallmouth bass, northern pike is in season as of when this trip will take place. A few other things that I don't remember off the top of my head, I have to reread. But anyways, here's the lures I got. So I got this guy. Based on some videos I've seen for fishing near reeds and tall grass. I'm not quite sure what the actual lakefront will have in terms of terrain. But I've educated myself, and I have a good starting point to see if I can catch some fish. And if you've watched my camping trip video, in that I used just a large branch with some fishing line. This time I'm actually using a fishing rod, although it's nothing spectacular. It's a telescoping fishing rod that I got from Walmart. I mean, I'm not trying to catch, giant fish. I'm trying to catch something big enough to eat. So I don't know. I don't want to say that this rod will be okay for that purpose because I haven't actually taken it out there and tested it. But I will be bringing food with me, so if I don't catch anything, I'm not SOL. The major concern for me is that there's actually a fire ban in effect right now. So I'll have to pay attention to that. As far as I know, it's supposed to rain on Friday, and that could affect the ban. But otherwise, I guess I'll just have to eat my prepackaged food cold and right out of the package, which isn't bad as long as I'm prepared for it. So yeah, I got this spinner. I got a couple of spoon lures. I know pike love gold lures. I got two different sizes. Try them both out. One's a bit of a smaller one, one's a larger one. I'll probably go with the smaller one first because, like I said, I'm not trying to catch massive fish. Just one big enough to eat. But yeah, so there's those two spoons. I just picked this guy up on a whim because he was on sale. I might throw that out a few times and see if that goes well. I know some of you more expert fishermen that are watching this are probably shaking their heads, but it's my chance to get out there and screw around and see what works and what doesn't for myself. Because you can only watch so many YouTube videos and learn from your chair. Some of it you actually have to get out and screw up for yourself and fully understand why things are done the way they are. But yeah, so that's that. The next thing I got were some training tips for my arrow. As I had discussed in my bug out bag teardown, I have some actual hunting tips for my arrow. But having never fired my arrow outside of a few pot shots in my apartment on a piece of cardboard without any heads in it, I have no practice with it, and that needs to change. I don't want to waste my perfectly good hunting heads, which will probably get damaged. So I picked up some training tips, which are just, they're the same weight as my hunting tips, which are 100 grain. And they should be able to be removed from targets without catching or damaging the razor sharp edges that are on the actual hunting heads. So it'll get me practiced up, and at least I will know how accurate I am with it. But anyways, got some training tips. Probably stick one of those on and take a few pot shots at a dead tree or something while I'm out in the woods. So next thing I got on my list is a retractable solar lantern. I haven't been hunting online to try and find one, but every time I've been in an outdoor store, I've always been looking around to see if I can find one of these. And finally, one popped out at me. It was on for, I don't know, like 33% off or something. The prices are listed there. Regularly it goes for $20. I got it for 14. And basically what this is it folds up into like a little puck. Has a solar panel on the top to charge it, and it folds out and provides you a light source at night. So this is really good for bug out bags for a backup light source at night, and you don't want to drain your batteries or you've lost your flashlight, or otherwise SOL for a light source. Yeah, so I might have gone a little too hog wild with light sources at this point, because my bug out bag has my hand crank radio, which also has a flashlight on it. It's got my I've got my headlamp with straps to my head. I've got my main flashlight that I have on my belt, which is this massive 680 lumen Fenix, and now I have this. So I'll probably have to go through and figure out if I need so many damn light sources in there. So who knows? This might actually end up going to my EDC bag, which I know I'll have a use for this. I just haven't figured it out yet. So almost last, we have I bought a new folding saw because as you watched in my Sauble Falls camping video, the Gerber folding saw I have is absolutely garbage. My Gerber folding saw binds up like every fourth, fifth stroke, especially if the wood's pinching it. And after doing a lot of research and getting a lot of feedback, a lot of people seem to love the Bahco Laplander folding saw. So I went and picked myself up one, and I'll be testing this out on the weekend. It gets a lot of good reviews. It's made in Sweden. Of the videos I've watched, I've never seen it bind up on anybody, and this will probably take me a quarter of the effort that using that stupid Gerber folding saw was taking. It seems to be thinner, which might be part of the reason why the other one was binding up, because it was actually quite thick. I'd say it was probably about twice as thick as this. The teeth on this are very sharp. It's fairly light. It's probably, I want to say a good, it's about 2/3 the weight of the Gerber folding saw I have. I'm gonna see if I can use the same pouch that the Gerber came in, because this actually doesn't come with a sheath. And yeah, it comes with a little leather lanyard, which is nice. But yeah, heard nothing but good things about these folding saws, so I'm excited to get out there and try it for myself. And then the last thing I bought, which hasn't arrived yet, it should arrive tomorrow, is some bear spray, like I said. Now, I don't necessarily think I'll need it, and I hope that I never have to use it, but it's one of those things where if I'm out in Crown Land, which is like no one else around unless someone's hunting or fishing, or doing some like really backcountry camping, I'm going to be out there by myself. I have no one to rely on. My car will be relatively close by, but probably not within a reasonable distance if I am face to face with a bear. So this is just a precaution for me, because this is my first time going out into Crown Land. And I've educated myself on how to deal with black bear. Thanks to Ontario's website, where it has all that information. And one of the things they say is that you should absolutely have bear spray. So I didn't cheap out. I think I spent about $50 on mine. I'll link it with some of the other stuff I bought in the description of the video. Yeah, so I'm going to be doing lots of trips this coming summer and into the fall and even winter. I promised myself that once I got a car again, I was going to really accelerate my outdoors adventuring. And I have a car, and I'm making good on my promise. So part of the reason I started this YouTube channel was to kind of chronicle my progress. Because as you've probably figured out by now, I'm relatively new to this. I mean, I've gone out a few times, both camping on regular touristy campsites and been in some backwoods with a larger group, such as Oshawa Bushcraft. But I need to learn to be more self-reliant, become much more confident in my skills, so that you as the viewer become more confident in the things that I'm trying to teach or things that I say on my things on my channel. So in the future, starting for the month of August, I've actually subscribed to Battlbox Pro Plus. So I'll be starting to do unboxing videos of the Pro Plus, which is the highest tier. So that comes with the basic, the advanced, the Pro, and the Pro Plus. So it'll have the knife of the month and all. It's the top tier of their subscription buys. And I know a lot of people would prefer to just go out and buy their own gear, knowing precisely what they want, which is fair. I understand that, but I'm a bit of a sucker for Skinner box. And some of the gear that comes in battle boxes are actually pretty decent. For instance, the one-man tent I use, I actually got in the first battle box I ever got, which was last year. I subscribed for a month and then canceled. And the box you get as a new member contains a one-man tent. And I actually haven't had a chance to field test it. Actually, now that I mention it, I will be using this tent on my Crownland camping trip this weekend. But this will be, it looks like it's pretty well made, to be honest. And I think I see online it retails for something like $300, which isn't bad. It came with a cook set, which I've already assembled my stainless steel HFS kit at that point, so it wasn't really of use to me. But it serves as my guest camping kit. So I keep a full set of gear for anybody who wants to come out with me who doesn't have their own gear. For instance, the Sauble Falls camping trip you watched, my fiance's father actually made use of some of the gear that was in there. Yeah, I was originally supposed to do July as the first month, but I guess I had renewed too late, so my initial box lapsed to being August instead of July, which worked for me because after looking into what July's box actually had, didn't seem to be things of particular interest to me. It was they're celebrating like 4th of July and freedom, and I'm Canadian, so I mean it's certainly a good thing for Americans, but as a Canadian, it's not really, uh, it's not marketed towards me, shall we say. So I'm actually excited to see what August box has now that it's getting towards the dead middle of summer. I really love a lot of their past boxes, and I also love the fact that they do mystery boxes. So I might do 1 or 2 of those in the future as well. So that's for the sorts of videos that I have coming down the pipeline. I'll be doing tutorial videos on various subjects. For instance, the first one I have coming is a tutorial on how to properly use a ferro rod fire steel and some basic fire safety tips. I've got some top 10 videos being planned. I think I have a total of like close to 20 videos being planned at this point. Some of them might not pan out, some of them might change, but yeah, I have plans for this channel, and it's not going anywhere. I want to try to upload at least once a week, but yeah, I've got a pretty busy life, so we'll see how that goes. My day job, I'm a programmer. I work for a company in downtown Whitby as a web dev. Originally started off as a game dev, but commuting to Toronto every day was absolutely killing me. It was a 2.5-hour commute every day, each way. So, yeah, and then I also run a 3D print shop in my off time. And I have a few other projects on the go as well. I'll be doing videos about more videos about bug out bags, things themed around bushcraft, things themed around survival, things themed around prepping, things themed around backpacking. I'm going to be doing a breakdown of my everyday carry bag in the near future. I'll be doing a more in-depth breakdown of my HFS kit, which has undergone a few modifications since I showed it off in my bug out bag teardown. And one of the videos I plan on doing, a trip video, at some point this summer, is a solo overnighter with just what's in my HFS kit. And I'll go more in depth on that in a later video. Yeah, thanks for watching. If this sounds interesting to you, like and subscribe, all that good stuff. And yeah, I look forward to uploading more videos in the future.